Have you ever wondered how a rock legend like Eric Clapton lives behind the scenes? We're talking about a man who has not only dominated the music charts for decades, but also built an empire off his legendary status. From jaw-dropping mansions to a car collection that would leave any gearhead speechless, Eric Clapton lives a life many can only dream of. But it's not just about the glitz and glam, there's a deeper story here. A story of rise, fall, redemption, and reinvention. You might know him for his guitar solos, but today you'll see a different side of Clapton: the luxurious lifestyle, the multi-million-dollar properties, and the mind-blowing net worth he's amassed over the years. Stick around, because what we reveal at the end of this video will absolutely surprise you. You'll find out just how much money Clapton is really worth, and the unexpected way he spends his fortune. It's something most fans have never heard before, and it might just change the way you see him. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Ade Media official family, your go-to source for celebrity lifestyles, luxury living, and the stories behind the fame. Like this video if you're a fan of rock music or just love seeing how the rich and famous live. Share it with your friends who appreciate legendary musicians. And don't forget to drop a comment below with your favorite Eric Clapton song or your thoughts on his lifestyle. Let's get into it. The unlikely beginning of a legend. Eric Patrick Clapton's journey begins with deception and abandonment instead of privilege. Clapton, born March 30th, 1945, in Ripley, Surrey, England, spent his first 9 years thinking his grandmother Rose was his mother and his mother Patricia was his older sister. This sad news would affect his music's emotional core for decades. After his mother Patricia had an affair with a Canadian soldier, Clapton was raised by his grandparents in a working-class environment and felt rejected and confused. Eric's sister, Patricia, relocated to Germany and Canada, leaving him with deep abandonment issues that affected his music and relationships. Clapton, an average student at Hollyfield School in Surbiton, sought refuge in art and music. His first guitar, an inexpensive acoustic Hoyer, was a 1958 13th birthday gift. The next event was wonderful. Shy, unhappy teen realized he could coax emotion from 6 strings almost supernaturally. Clapton left Kingston College of Art at 17 to pursue music full-time, much to his family's dismay. The term slow hand came from audiences' slow hand claps when he broke guitar strings and carefully replaced them while busking on street corners and playing in taverns, where he developed his unique blues style. The rise of a guitar god. Clapton's career began in 1963 with the Roosters, but the Yardbirds, 1963 to 1965, gained him fame. His artistic integrity was defined by his band departure. Clapton left the Yardbirds to play real blues. In 1965, he joined John Mayall's Blues Breakers, where he became famous enough to inspire London's Clapton is God graffiti. His 1966 record, Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton, made him Britain's top blues guitarist. Clapton was just beginning. He formed Cream with bassist Jack Bruce and drummer Ginger Baker in 1966, one of the earliest supergroups. Cream changed popular music with blues, rock, and psychedelia. Disraeli Gears, 1967, and Wheels of Fire, 1968, feature Clapton's virtuoso guitar on Sunshine of Your Love and White Room. After Cream's 1968 collapse, Clapton and Steve Winwood founded Blind Faith, a short but significant band, before launching a 50-year solo career. His 1970 solo debut was more introspective, but Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, 1970, with Derek and the Dominoes, delivered one of rock's greatest anthems, Layla, written about his unrequited love for George Harrison's then-wife Pattie Boyd. The 1992 album Unplugged won 6 Grammys and sold over 26 million copies, making it Clapton's biggest commercial success. One of the most moving songs in popular music history, Tears in Heaven, was written about his 4-year-old son Connor, who died unexpectedly in 1991. Clapton has recorded almost 20 studio albums, won 18 Grammys, and been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times. As a solo artist, the Yardbirds and Cream. He worked with the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash, B.B. King, and many others. The $450 million empire. According to 2025 estimates, Eric Clapton is one of the world's wealthiest musicians with $450 million. This massive fortune was earned through smart business decisions, clever investments, and decades of traveling and recording. Clapton's riches comes from album sales over 100 million copies, although touring is his main source. His farewell tours alone earned hundreds of millions. Over $50 million was earned in 15 gigs on the 2019 I Still Do tour. Music publication and royalties generate significant revenue. Layla has earned tens of millions in license royalties from films, advertising, and TV series. His investments in music publishing companies and master recordings generate annual passive income. Clapton invested wisely in real estate, art, and classic guitars outside of music. His 1956 Stratocaster Brownie sold for $497,500 in 1999, while his 2004 Blackie sold for $959,500, an auction record. Ironically, a man who pawned guitars for drug money now values them higher than most stock portfolios. How a rock god spent his fortune. Clapton's spending habits reflect both his artistic sensibilities and his desire to give back. His most significant philanthropic endeavor is the Crossroads Center, a drug and alcohol rehabilitation facility he founded in Antigua in 1998. Having battled addiction himself, Clapton has donated over $50 million to addiction treatment and recovery programs. The annual Crossroads Guitar Festival, which he organizes, has raised millions more for the center while bringing together the world's greatest guitarists. These festivals aren't just charity events. They're gatherings of musical royalty that Clapton personally curates and finances. Art collecting represents another major expenditure. Clapton's collection includes works by Gerhard Richter, whose abstract paintings he's particularly fond of, and various contemporary artists. His 2020 auction of modern and contemporary art raised $20.7 million, with pieces from his personal collection that he'd carefully curated over decades. Fashion might not be the first thing associated with the typically casual dress guitarist, but Clapton has invested heavily in bespoke tailoring and owns an extensive collection of vintage clothing. His preference for handmade suits from Seville Row tailors represents thousands of dollars per garment. Perhaps most surprisingly, Clapton is an avid fisherman who has spent millions on fishing expeditions around the world. His custom-built fishing boats and equipment rival those of professional sport fishermen, and he's known to disappear for weeks at a time to remote fishing locations. A global real estate portfolio. Clapton's real estate portfolio spans continents and reflects his evolution from rock rebel to sophisticated businessman. His primary residence is Hurtwood Edge, a magnificent estate in Surrey, England, purchased in the 1990s for approximately $3 million and now worth an estimated $15 million. The 18th century manor house sits on 56 acres of pristine English countryside and features period architecture meticulously maintained and updated with modern amenities. The property includes a recording studio where Clapton has worked on numerous albums, guest houses, and extensive gardens that he personally tends to as a hobby. In Antigua, Clapton owns Standfast Point, a stunning beachfront compound that serves as both a retreat and a location for his Crossroads Center. The property includes multiple villas, pristine beaches, and panoramic views of the Caribbean Sea. Conservative estimates place its value at over $20 million. His London Pied Terra in Chelsea represents the height of urban sophistication, a multi-million-pound townhouse in one of the city's most exclusive neighborhoods. The property features original period details combined with contemporary luxury, including a climate-controlled wine cellar and a private recording space. In the United States, Clapton has owned properties in Martha's Vineyard and the Hamptons, both of which have appreciated significantly since purchase. His Martha's Vineyard estate, which he sold in 2017 for $16.2 million, featured 45 acres of waterfront property and a custom-built home designed to his specifications. Perhaps most intriguingly, Clapton owns a working vineyard in the south of France, where he produces limited edition wines primarily for personal consumption and gifts to friends. The property represents both an investment and a passion project, reflecting his appreciation for craftsmanship in all its forms. The ultimate gear collection, cars that match the legend. For a man whose life has been defined by precision instruments, it's perhaps unsurprising that Clapton's car collection reflects the same attention to detail and appreciation for craftsmanship that characterizes his music. His crown jewel is a 1964 Ferrari 275 GP, one of the most beautiful and valuable Ferraris ever produced. Purchased in the 1980s, this car has appreciated to an estimated value of over $3 million. The 275 GP represents the golden age of Ferrari design, combining stunning aesthetics with incredible performance. Much like Clapton's approach to the guitar, Clapton's garage also houses multiple Porsches, including a pristine 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7, considered by many to be the greatest 911 ever built. His connection to Porsche runs deep. He's owned numerous examples over the decades, appreciating both their engineering excellence and their reliability for touring. The collection includes several Aston Martins, befitting his status as a British cultural icon. His DB5, famously associated with James Bond, represents classic British luxury and performance. These aren't garage queens. Clapton regularly drives his cars, believing that mechanical objects are meant to be used and enjoyed. Perhaps most personally meaningful is his collection of Land Rovers and Range Rovers, vehicles that connect to his love of the English countryside. These practical but luxurious machines allow him to traverse his Surrey estate and reflect his evolution from rock star rebel to country gentleman. More recently, Clapton has embraced modern supercars, including McLarens and the latest Ferrari models. His car collecting philosophy mirrors his approach to guitars. He seeks instruments, whether musical or mechanical, that inspire him and enhance his life experience. The enduring legacy of slow hand. At 80 years old, Eric Clapton continues to tour, record, and inspire new generations of musicians. His influence extends far beyond his personal wealth or possessions. He's fundamentally changed how the guitar is perceived and played in popular music. The man who once lived hand-to-mouth, pawning guitars for drug money, now commands millions per performance and owns assets worth nearly $500 million. But perhaps more importantly, he's used his success to help others through addiction recovery and has maintained his artistic integrity throughout 5 decades in the music business. Clapton's story demonstrates that true wealth isn't just about accumulating possessions. It's about transforming personal pain into universal art, using success to help others, and never losing sight of the passion that started it all. From a troubled teenager in 1960s Surrey to one of the world's wealthiest musicians, Eric Clapton's journey proves that sometimes the most unlikely beginnings can lead to the most extraordinary destinations. His legacy isn't just measured in dollars or platinum albums, but in the countless guitarists he's inspired, the lives changed through his philanthropic work, and the enduring power of music to heal both performer and audience. In an industry known for excess and waste, Clapton has built an empire based on authenticity, craftsmanship, and the belief that true artistry never goes out of style. The boy who once thought his mother was his sister became the man who proved that with enough talent, determination, and heart, even the deepest wounds can be transformed into the most beautiful music and the most meaningful life.